What's up, guys? Welcome back to Sunday Sports Club Podcast, a podcast all about sports told by a woman.
And an NFL player.
Only on Thursdays. Welcome to the Huddle. This is where you can get your up-to-date, digestible sports news. Basically, if you know nothing or you want to know something about sports and what is currently happening in the sports world, you would listen to these Thursday episodes. But also stay tuned for the Sunday episodes.
That's a good intro. What do you feel like the Sunday episodes are? How do you think they differ?
Sundays are more about people's story, different situations in and around the NFL, and then Thursdays are what's currently happening.
I feel like your Sundays are do you even know anything about sports? Oh, get on the show.
Yeah, I feel like you don't need to know anything about sports to listen on Sundays.
Yeah.
And Thursdays, I feel like we teach somewhat throughout the episode.
It depends. Well, we've gone back and forth on styles, formats, and I feel like sometimes I get in the zone of just chatting about football, which is great.
And then I bring Isaac back down, and I'm like, nobody gives a fuck about that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
The girlies aren't here to actually learn everything about football. They just want to know the main important things.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out how it translates. The same way that when my daughter gets older and I'm trying to figure out how my knowledge can translate to her, I have to figure out how this can translate to the audience.
You don't need to worry about that in both situations because this is my podcast and I am the mom.
You're gonna okay.
So what's up, guys? We are heading into week 6 of the NFL.
It's crazy because I'm not signed. I feel like the season goes by way faster when you're not in it.
Absolutely.
Way faster. It's actually
even
crazy.
Last year when you got cut, I feel like the time went by so quick.
Put it this way.
Then again, we weren't sleeping.
I got released week 11. So do the math. That's in 5 weeks.
You got released that early? Sorry.
Was it week 11?
I think it was a little bit. In December?
It was 2 weeks before Thanksgiving. So dude, that's 5 weeks from now.
I guess that was. Man, time.
Tough times, right?
Anyways.
Oh, speaking of
Nobody
the
cares
Raiders,
about
they
you.
lost. Oh, my bad. It seems like I'm mad about that.
The Raiders, kind of had a bad loss to the Broncos.
I think it's just their whole organization right now. They're going to have to figure some things out. They just really have to figure it out. I mean, they've had so many changes, and this is where I need to pause and not get too deep in it. But they've just had a bunch of changes, and they have a lot of strong personalities. They're going to have to
speaking of the Raiders, Davante Adams, he's one of the best wide receivers in the NFL, if not the best, and he requested a trade. So that's something a lot of people might not know. When you're in the NFL, you can request a trade, just like you can request a different 6 hour in high school. You're like, I don't want to fuck with history. I want a free hour for my 6 hours.
Just like Allie requested a prenup, he can request a trade. And the thing with Davante is he's a crucial piece. If you have a Davante Adams on your team, it's a game changer.
Do you think he's actually going to get traded?
Yeah.
He's asking, or the Raiders are asking for a 2nd round pick.
Which is crazy.
Because I feel like he's a 1st round pick kind of guy.
But trade value never really translates well.
That's so interesting. Why?
If you look up, I'm trying to think of a really good trade example. If you look up Khalil Mack, which this is why we need Annie on here. But if we were to look up Khalil Mack a few years ago, his trade value is awful. Every year, you see guys get traded for awful things. I don't know why. I don't understand why. I think it's because the potential of a 2nd round draft pick. Max Crosby was a 4th round draft pick. So if you trade a 4th rounder to get Max Crosby, kind of a win.
Do you think I have
trade value?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been searching for a good.
What?
You started the joke.
Isaac.
I'm just finishing it.
That's something you should never continue to joke about. So do you think he's actually going to get traded?
I think he's going to get traded. I think the organization as a whole has to look at how his personality fits in the locker room.
I feel like once a player requests to get traded, you need to trade them.
I know a lot of players who have requested to get traded and haven't gotten traded. It doesn't happen all the time.
Why is he tweeting photos and speculation?
Did you see? So he put up a picture on his Instagram story of Edgar Allan Poe randomly, and people ran with it.
I don't get it.
Well, they were like, Edgar Allan Poe wrote a poem about a raven, and so they were like, is it the Ravens? And then it was crazy. But
I promise you, these NFL players aren't tweeting shit from poems to allude to a certain team.
Maybe,
if he goes
I don't
to the
know.
Ravens,
Some dudes,
if he goes to the Ravens, I will shave my head. I will not shave my head.
I was like, Let's not agree to that.
Do you think when you're looking to get traded, do teams woo you? Do they even have any say over what team trades for them?
Yeah, to a certain extent. I mean, it's just the conversations he might be having with people. He can kind of hype himself up and hype the situation up for a team to be more willing to trade him. But if I was the Raiders, I would not trade him to any team in the AFC. Let alone the AFC West would be crazy. Like people are saying Chiefs. I'm like, that would be so dumb.
Why would the Raiders ever trade to the Chiefs? Like, hey.
It would be foolish. Like really dumb.
Hey, here's our player that's really good that we didn't really see as much value. Take him.
To be honest with you, I kind of like Davante Adams on the Chargers. They just lost Keenan Allen. They lost the combo. Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. So Keenan Williams is the combo. But he'd be a good fit.
Maybe when this podcast gets released, he'll already be on a different team.
We'll see. I feel like they're going to wait till the trade deadline.
Why is there a trade deadline?
Because they just have. I mean, I don't have actually a great reason why they have a trade deadline, but there is a trade deadline.
So you don't know everything?
No, I'm not an encyclopedia, Allie, like you are.
That's weird. I thought you were in the NFL. Trade deadline is November 5th.
Yeah, right around the corner. So I think they might push it until the trade deadline.
Isaac, that's in a month.
Yeah.
But somehow when I say 5 minutes to get ready, it takes me a long time. You're like, yeah, it's right around the corner.
Yeah, you do take a long time to get ready.
Did you see the video of the Jets kicker trying to practice his kicks and then had to kick in the middle of the cheerleaders?
Yeah. I had two thoughts. One was, why are the cheerleaders not reacting? Like y'all could low-key get kicked in the head. Like I would lock in.
That? Was that meant to happen?
No. There's a 0% chance they're coordinating.
That was ruthless. He went ahead and kicked the ball.
He was on the opposite team.
What if he kicked one of the... Oh.
Wasn't even the same.
That has nothing to do with it. He's not trying to hurt a woman.
Kickers are... They're halftime situations when they come back out and warm up. They're always so, like... That's, like, their time to, like stroke the ego. Like, you want to be in my way? And then it's like, bro, it's not that serious. Like, just literally... But he might be superstitious and be like, I have to kick from this spot at halftime.
And do you believe in superstitions to an extent?
I believe in routine.
Yeah. So would you kick the ball?
If it was make or break for my superstitious energy, for sure.
What if you hit a cheerleader in the face?
I wouldn't be held liable.
Oh my God. Anyways, that was during the London game, the Jets versus Vikings. Why do these NFL teams keep playing internationally? Brazil, London, Mexico City.
I like the international game.
I personally love it. I mean, as a fan, I like to travel. Might as well.
The only game so far that I think has been absolutely absurd is the Brazil game.
Why?
A season opener in Brazil is wild.
It was fun.
It was an 11-hour flight, and you didn't get a bye week after. So usually, if you have international
the no bye week after was kind of crazy.
It's crazy. You're making your guys start off the season internationally, 11-hour flight, don't have a bye week. Like, that could derail your season.
Which didn't make sense that wasn't the Thursday night game.
Nothing made sense about that game. But why are they doing it? It's very obvious. The NFL wants to focus on women, and they want to focus internationally. They want to focus on flag football. So it's just a point of emphasis.
I would love to see an NFL game in some area of Asia. I think that would be such a cool experience.
But how would you even do that?
Oh, yeah.
Do you know how difficult that would be? Like, think about the time change. You would lose a whole day.
Okay,
How early do you go out there?
Isaac, I'm not in charge of the fucking NFL. I'm just saying it would be cool. In other news, more about the London game. Did you see the Parent Trap handshake?
Yeah, I thought it was corny.
Really?
For sure.
Do you think NFL celebrations are corny?
I think that was corny.
Isaac, you literally got a sack and shush the crowd. You don't think that's corny?
That's some grown man behavior.
Like, you're not shushing anybody. You can't even shush your wife.
You think I'm going to do a Parent Trap celebration? I'm corny. Corny boys.
Isaac.
What? It was corny. I'm sorry. It was a corny celebration.
I thought it was cool.
Boys are playing patty cake. Like, get back to the sideline and get ready for the next play. What's up? Special teams. Get your kickoff team out. No, it was cool. It was cool. I thought it was actually creativity. I give it a 10 out of 10. Corniness, I give it a 10 out of 10. So,
do coaches ever get pissed about celebrations?
No.
I saw another wild celebration where somebody acted like they had a weapon. What?
That's violent. I
saw it.
Cam Newton had a clip. He's like, bro, why is anybody celebrating like you have a weapon? Y'all are not thugs. You're not shooting anybody. Like, get back. Like, bro, come on. I thought it was funny. But I'm always like, when do these guys practice this? Like, even guys who would be on my team, like, I would be like, I'm at the same practice as you are. When are y'all like practicing this?
Well, you're not in a role, Isaac. You're not in a position in the NFL. You're not in a position in football where you would ever need to celebrate.
That's not true. That's actually you hating on me, saying that I don't make any plays. I'm convinced that these dudes have like a period. So like our team meetings and like our position meetings are broken up, just kind of different presentations. I'm convinced they have like a Friday presentation where it's like, all right, rookies, get up and show up dance moves.
You're getting ahead of yourself now. But the Parent Trap handshake was right after an interception. So what's a pick six?
Pick six is when you intercept the ball and you score as the interceptor.
That's got to be nice.
Yeah, it almost happened to me, but Melvin Ingram got in front of me when I got the interception and was running towards the end zone and asked me to hand him the ball.
Really? Yeah,
you could literally watch it. The dude was blocking me. I'm going to stop because it was...
Anyways, the guy who caught the interception, Bynum, that's his last name.
Yeah.
He said he wants to have a dance ready for every week.
That boy's just trying to manifest for real. I respect it.
I kind of respect it too.
He dropped the parent.
What's your favorite victory dance you've ever done?
Like if you can picture the Corvette TikTok dance.
You did that?
No, obviously not.
Oh my God, I was like, please no.
I did the bow. My good season. I was bowing. That was kind of like I'd go like this.
Anyways, in other news, the Cowboys Steelers game was wild.
Yeah, Dak Prescott should be very, very happy.
Yeah, because he's the highest paid quarterback.
He's the highest paid NFL player of all time.
He needs to be winning games like that.
Jerry Jones. Who's Jerry Jones?
The owner of the Cowboys.
Should be very happy.
He looked happy. I saw him on TV.
Do you know who Dan Schmidt is?
Isaac, why are you quizzing me? This is my fucking podcast.
Do you know who Dan Schmidt is?
No.
Are you serious?
Isaac, what? Who?
I just made up that name. It sounds like they do something. But no, everybody in the Cowboys organization should be so happy because they paid him so much. A lot of people had questions about this year. Is Dak going to do anything? Because he's kind of been back and forth.
Cowboys won 2017 in literally the last few seconds. And they waited a 90-minute weather delay.
Brutal. That would throw off
everything. So the game didn't end in Pittsburgh until 1 a.m.
He's the first quarterback in NFL history to score 2 touchdowns in 2 different days in the same game.
Who cares about shit like that?
I don't know who comes up with these stats.
How do you even know that stat?
Because I'm on top of these things.
But TJ Watt got his 100th sack, and he's the second youngest guy to get to 100 sacks that quick. But
who's won? Reggie White. Go ahead.
Like, that's shit people don't care about on this podcast. Anyways, his wife, Danny Watt, put up a picture and was like, Sunday night football game, more like Monday morning football game.
I get
Anyways,
it.
it's cute because she's pregnant and she was like, I'm going to take a nap during halftime because I need to go to sleep.
Well, no, seriously, though, congrats to him. That's a huge deal. 100 sacks is crazy. I have 10 in my career and feel like I should be in the Pro Bowl.
Anyways, but right after the final whistle, the Steelers wide receiver grabbed the Cowboys cornerback, grabbed his face mask, and threw him to the ground.
That's $50,000.
$50,000?
It's between 30 and 50.
It's a $50,000 fine if you do that?
It's between 30 and 50,000. You can't grab somebody's helmet and just start slinging people because you lose. The NFL hates that. I feel like
if you know the amount you're going to get fined, you got anger issues. Maybe take that $50,000 and go to therapy.
I just think it may not be $50,000, but I just think it's so dumb. So dumb.
If you're fining somebody $7,000 for socks, being aggressive to somebody, $50,000 makes a little bit of sense.
$7,000 for socks is crazy. If I was a head coach,
I'm about to start finding my husband. Didn't put my socks away, $7,000.
You already
left out a bottle of milk, $50,000.
You already have to pay a ton in the attitude jar, so
won't get me a new ring, $100,000.
$100,000.
What kind of penalty is the face mask?
It was after the end of the game, so the only penalties in the pockets. Yeah, no in-game penalty.
Do players get a bad reputation for stuff like that?
It's just immature. In my opinion, like if I'm a head coach, I'm just like, this guy has no discipline. It's immature. We just lost.
But you don't think that does anything?
No. Like, I don't know. What do you mean?
Like bad reputation? You don't think coaches care?
I think if you're playing,
I know one player in particular.
You gonna let me answer?
Oh yeah. Sorry, I forgot this is a 2-person podcast.
I think if you're playing bad and you have a bad reputation, that's not good. But I think if you're a great player with a bad reputation, doesn't matter. If you're a neutral player,
I think that honestly, I think teams look at that as like edgy and like, oh wow, he's like aggressive and that makes him a good player.
Yeah, but guys become a liability.
That's kind of it for. Oh yeah, Chiefs undefeated.
Something in the water. There's something in the water out there. They find a way. They're like, you watch them. Sometimes you think they're good. Sometimes you don't. But they always find a way to win.
They always win.
Fun fact, I interviewed Governor Walz today, and his Super Bowl prediction was Kansas City Chiefs.
Versus who?
Who do you think?
Vikings.
Yeah.
I could kind of see that.
I could. I'm not completely sold on the Vikings, but I like where they're at.
College football news. This is random because usually we only talk about the NFL, but this also is very important. Vanderbilt upset Alabama, and I watched them carry the goalpost all the way. You
watched the whole 3 miles?
No, I didn't.
There's a live cam?
No, Isaac, I have a life. I didn't watch it, but I watched it on TikTok, and I sped through it. But that's wild. 3 miles just to put the goalpost in the river?
How much did Vanderbilt have to pay for that? They got fined. Like, there was like a formal fine to Vanderbilt.
The college got fined?
Yeah, how much do you think they had to pay?
Less than $50,000.
$100,000.
What?
Yeah, $100,000 for that. I can't believe they threw it in. I mean, it's kind of legendary.
Do you think it's worth it?
If I'm a Vandy president, I'm paying $100,000 every single time. Notre Dame paid $1.5 million to lose to a team. So Vanderbilt can pay. Yes, I can. So Vanderbilt can pay $100,000 to beat the number 1 team in the country. Yeah, every time. I'm paying that every time.
What does this say about college football fans?
They're not fans. Those are gremlins. Those are college children.
Those aren't just regular schmegular fans. Those are college kids. And
those are college kids.
I like that. I feel like when it comes to the NFL, like you love your team, but if you went to a good football school like myself, Michigan State, represent, I feel like you always have something in your heart for them. Whereas in like whatever team you go to, I'll root for.
When's the last Michigan State game you watched?
Anyways, how hard is it to yank out a goalpost? Have you ever tried that?
Yeah, I've hung on a goalpost before. I mean, those things are pretty sturdy.
So how hard is it to pick it up?
Oh, to hold? I mean, they look like ants carrying a piece of bread.
But how do you push it up off the ground, right?
No.
Oh, you think that they pulled it?
Yes, they broke it off the front. Only this part got taken off, not the
pull.
Not the pull. You said how hard was it to pull out of the ground? Boy, you think they're out there picking weeds, pulling it straight out the ground?
That's weird. My husband's laughing at me. Funny. This is the perfect time to end this podcast so I can go talk to him about why he's laughing at me. What teams are you looking at this week?
A team that I really want to watch is the Cincinnati Bengals. They've been absolutely awful this year.
They're 0-4, right? Or 1-4?
I don't even know what their record is.
They suck.
They're awful, but I really want to see if Joe Burrow can rally the troops because I think he's an elite quarterback, but elite quarterbacks don't have horrible seasons like this.
People are blaming Cody Ford.
Just know that I do watch O-line play. Like when I'm watching a game, I watch the way D-line and O-line play. Mm-hmm. I'll just leave it at that.
Okay. All right. Well, what team am I looking at this week? Lions. I just want my Lions to do good.
Lines or lines?
Exactly. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to the Huddle every Thursday. Be sure to tune in to our regular scheduled episodes. Okay, I post every Sunday and every Thursday, so be sure to tune in wherever you get your podcasts. And also, we're on YouTube if you want to watch our faces. Thanks, guys, for tuning in, and I'll see you soon. Well, I won't see you, but you'll hear from me.